Hey guys, Haley again. I was just going through my old movies and guess what I didn't review? Ha 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 ha. It is gonna be a DreamWorks, apparently. Um, Before I start though, I got a new kitten. His name is Zero, and he is roughly 5 months old. My mom ended up rescuing him from getting hit from a car. He's fine, don't worry. A little bit of a biter, but he's he's weird. But I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys my new little kitten. Cause just recently my favorite cat Tebow, he passed away because his kidneys were failing. So anyway, yes. So my review right now is going to be Rise of the Guardians. This is one of my favorite movies, which is why I have it on Blu-ray because I am ridiculously nerdy like that. And so it's just one of those things where you just absolutely fall in love with a movie and you just have to keep watching it over and over again. I have seen Rise of the Guardians like 10 million different times and I absolutely adore it. It's kind of weird because of the fact that the first time I watched it, I kind of was obsessed with Jack Frost for like I don't know, 2 or 3 months. Because this is back from like 2012. Yeah, like because I know I got the DVD April 16th of 2013. Um and it came out in the theaters November 22nd of 2012. I am such a nerd. I am that much of a nerd. Wow. I need a life. Anyway, yeah, so, back then, that was, like, one of my favorite DreamWorks movies ever. I'm so sad because I went to look up how it did in the box office. It did not do very well. I felt so bad because it's such a good movie, but I think it's because it took a more gritty, realistic approach, which is not DreamWorks usual. Because DreamWorks is it actually took a rather serious turn because the colors were a lot more gritty and dark because of the villain Pitch Black. And it looked a little bit more realistic. Whereas if you look at something like Kung Fu Panda or as a example, How to Train Your Dragon, everything looks a lot more cartoony and kid friendly. DreamWorks was rather serious and rather true to its content. It didn't have what the books do. I haven't read the books, but my friend has, and she's been trying to tell me, what parallels would be drawn. And actually, they are rather close to the source material, so you can't bash it too hard. Anyway, so yeah, Rise of the Guardians, very good movie. Um, Basically, it follows the main character of Jack Frost. If you haven't seen it, this will have spoilers in it, by the way. I'll have that again in the title. Most of these will have spoilers, so I'll just say spoilers in the title. Um, but it mostly focuses around Jack Frost finding his center, or, the thing that makes him a guardian. Or Santa Claus, his center is Wonder, Easter Bunnymund, or just Bunny, is Hope. Uh, Toothiana, or the Tooth Fairy, is Memories, and Sandy, or Sandman, is obviously Dreams. Um, it takes the entire movie to find out what Jack's freaking center is, but then again, that's the whole premise of the freaking movie. But there was something that I heard in another review by one of my favorite reviewers, Doug Walker, or Nostalgia Critic, and he brought up a good point. Even if the movie didn't have Jack Frost, it would still be a good movie. The villain, Pitch Black, is a very strong villain. He could be very well handled without Jack's help. And again, this will have spoilers. If he hadn't killed Sandy for a vast majority of the movie, Sandy is literally Deus Ex Machina, so he could have easily killed him or destroyed him or something, okay? He could have easily stopped him to have him be quiet for another, 400 years or however long that was that Pitch was under, because I know he was around during the Dark Ages. But anyway, so easily Sandy could have kicked his butt. It was obvious, considering how he was thrashing him around. But it's just one of those things where it's just without Jack Frost, but I think the reason why they had Jack Frost in there was in order to bring in the fangirls, because his freaking face, it's gorgeous. Anyway, you did not hear a 20-year-old just say that. Anyway, so the fact that they went ahead and they did that, like, that was one thing that I really didn't appreciate from DreamWorks, from Peter Ramsey, who went ahead and said, hey, let's make Jack Frost, because technically in the books, he's not that big of a main character. In fact, you only get, I think, like, a line or two even mentioning him in the first book, I think. But it's kind of funny because so many people draw parallels to how his design is rather similar, like how he looks, not his attire or anything like that, but his looks and personality are a lot like Nightlight. Again, I haven't read the books or anything like that, but seeing a couple pictures and from what I can hear from my friend, she says it's pretty close too. So maybe he was like a Nightlight stand-in or something. I don't know. But either way, okay. There's a lot that goes on in this movie, but they handle it decently well. The animation is fantastic, again, because you have to deal with the hair and fur of Bunnymund, the sand, which I could only imagine was a bear to handle. I mean, I would have loved to have been on this project, 'cause it just was so much fun. Um, but the animation was incredible. I loved the music score. I listen to it every once in a while, the beautiful work at the beginning during Jack's immersion from his lake. Um, and I liked the voice acting in this. It was very good. So many people couldn't handle how Jack sounded so old because he was voiced by Chris Pine. Um, it was kind of hilarious because there was an actual star-studded cast in this. I liked Chris Pine as Jack Frost. He had that certain boyish, just absolutely wanting to cause trouble everywhere he goes. I was so surprised when I heard that North, a Russian, was done by Alec Baldwin. I was completely surprised at the very end. I was like, what? Alec Baldwin? It was the weirdest choice I've ever heard in my life, but it worked. He had a good Russian accent, but it wasn't lost, so, wouldn't lose the little kids. Um, I really enjoyed Hugh Jackman as Bunnymund. That was very good, very good. So much fun. And I loved the rivalry that kind of spawned between Bunny and North and Bunny and Jack, because that just worked very well. Isla Fisher as Toothiana was great, and Sandy's silent, so I can't really give him a credit. But all of the casting was very good, and I gotta say, even though I love Jack Frost, I loved Pitch's voice actor Jude Law in this. He was fantastically evil. I loved it because he was having so much fun with the character. He was just turning evil, and it was amazing. Jude Law was so into this character, and you could tell based on because animators like to sometimes put a bit of the actor into their characters in order to give them a bit more believability, and you could totally see that with Jude Law in Pitch Black. You could see it with Chris Pine and Jack Frost. You could see it in the eyes, easy. Um, Same could be said of Alec Baldwin and North. You could see it in the eyes, and again with all the characters. Um, Toothiana's facial structure reminds me a lot of Isla Fisher, so that's probably where that came from. But Jude Law was fantastic as Pitch. I mean, I loved watching him on screen. It was so much fun. I love Jude Law anyway. I know him mostly from Sherlock Holmes, as Watson and everything like that. But his voice is so recognizable. You gotta know who Jude Law is. Um, he's been in a lot of stuff, but like I'm blanking right now because I'm just gushing about him in Rise of the Guardians. He was very good at being evil. He had that cute, that sly, cunning, um, backstabbing type voice where it's like, yeah, I'm making a deal with you, but little do you know, there's a hitch to it. There's a catch, but. It was kind of funny because every once in a while, when I'm on Skype call with my friend Megan, the one who's been helping me with the research, every once in a while, we just kind of look at each other through our cameras and just kind of start reciting lines from Rise of the Guardians. It's just ridiculously weird. Um, but it was just so delightful to watch, and the fighting scenes were beautiful to watch too. The combat was very well animated and very fluent and very, very smooth. I loved it. I've always wanted to work for DreamWorks. That's like my dream job. So this was actually one of my favorite movies, and if I were to ever get an interview to work for them or anything, I would definitely point out for my favorite movies be Rise of the Guardians, Kung Fu Panda, and freaking How to Train Your Dragon, because all of those are favorites. But anyway, this movie, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a freaking 5 out of 5. I love this movie. I know it's a kids movie, but I really don't care. It's really funny how much work and thought is put into a kids movie, whereas you see movies made for adults, like horror movies nowadays, and there's not much there. There's not much effort put in, and it's kind of sad that that's how it works. Um, because of the fact that since we're older, we should be able to appreciate, like, serious plot devices. Like, notice when something small happens, but it's gonna make a difference later. So, I guess that's kind of what I like about kids' movies, is that kids really don't catch these things until they are older. But, it's kind of like with the How to Train Your Dragon thing, where it's, the babies don't listen to anybody, so obviously they're not gonna listen to Alpha, so, that's gonna help. But anyway, so it's kind of like that. I guess I kind of appreciate kids' movies because I notice these things and they're enjoyable to watch. They put a lot really into it, and I appreciate that. Um, but anyway, so I definitely give it a 5 out of 5, and music was beautiful. I love the animation. Peter Ramsey just did a great job altogether. The animation team did fantastic. Voice acting was perfect. And I just really enjoyed this movie as a whole. It just is a really good movie, and I would recommend you go out and see this, whether or not you borrow it from a friend or if you just happen to go on a website where you can see movies online. Um, I know a website that you can do that, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to end up getting, like, arrested by the FBI or something, okay? Um, but this really is a great movie. Definitely go see it. I know that it's not in theaters anymore, but I was going through my DreamWorks because I figured I'd make it a DreamWorks month, apparently. Other than the Maleficent trailer, review thing, rather. So yeah, that was Rise of the Guardians, and I absolutely enjoy that movie to no end. It's right up there with How to Train Your Dragon. I'm not sure which I'll review next. I'm probably gonna go back over to my movie collection over yonder way, and go poke around, see what I can find. Who knows it? Again, it'll probably be a Dreamers movie. Who knows? I may end up doing Kung Fu Panda. But just like Kung Fu Panda, I don't own it, so very rarely will I. If I'll do a movie review that I know what I want to do, will I actually have the movie? Just as like one time, and have the Train Your Dragon thing. I will have a hard copy, but every once in a while I won't. But I have seen Kung Fu Panda and Kung Fu Panda 2, so I'll probably do those two next. I may do them in a lump movie review, probably, but no promises. I don't know what's going on right now. But anyway, so that was Rise of the Guardians. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and there'll be more reviews on the way. So thank you very much for checking out this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Have yourselves a great day.